afternoon and welcome to Building Boston and Beyond. Building Boston and Beyond is a show that allows the communities, the businesses, organizations to share their message, to let the public, the communities know what's going on in Boston and around. What's important and what we thought of when we created this show was to deliver organizations' message and to build community and to allow the community to understand what's going on where they live, basically where their tax dollars are going and what's being built around them. And also, too, access to culture, access to programs, access to public transportation, access to things that are community-driven and that allow people to be part of the fabric of where they live. So with that said, today's guest is my friend Leslie Kaye. She is the Vice President of Institutional Advancement at the Boston Conservatory. And I'm very happy to have her with me. Thanks so much for attending.
Thank you so much for having me. This is really, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about the conservatory. It's really a pretty special place, and I don't think enough people know about it. And this is a great opportunity to talk about it.
No, it is. And then when I read your bio in the Boston Business Journal, cheers for them, I thought it was beautiful. And I said, I have to bring this woman on because I think it's important to share what's going on at the conservatory. I'll admit, I have never been there, and that's unfortunate, because I'm from the city, but I will start to come now that we've fostered this relationship. And I just want to, let's just talk about a little about yourself. I think you have an interesting story.
So I'm originally from Worcester, the Boston area, and I'm actually an alum of the Boston Conservatory. So I studied opera at the Conservatory a little over 20 years ago and moved to Philadelphia actually to be closer to New York to start trying to get work and get an agent and do all the things that a young performing artist does. And eventually I moved into arts administration and was working for performing arts organizations in Philadelphia. And I got a phone call about a little less than 2 years ago saying, you know, there's this job at the Boston Conservatory and I think you might want to think about coming back here. And I thought the opportunity to come back to my alma mater, I owe the conservatory a lot. It is where I feel I got the training that I needed to prepare me as a performing artist. And of course that's ever changing. It was its own unique training ground and profession then, and now it's changed certainly, but I think the school's always uniquely been engaged in the field and knowing what the profession needs and how to train properly.
Right. So you went back to your roots.
I went back to my roots, and I feel like I owe the school something.
Right, and that's a good feeling to have.
Yeah,
to want to give back, but it's challenging too, because from what I've read and what we've talked about and what you're doing there, it is challenging because you're looking to make the community aware of the conservatory.
I think so, yes. I mean, my job is all about visibility and resources. And I think the visibility piece, we have the new building that I know you heard about on Ipswich Street. And that was the opportunity, I think, to give the school more visibility. We've been on the Fenway for, well, let's see, the school is celebrating its anniversary in February. We're going to be 150 years old. Which is really a great milestone for the school. But what this space did was put it on the Mass Pike. So I'd say about 60,000 people a day are going back and forth on the Pike and get to see this building that says the Boston Conservatory. And if you're lucky enough to be driving at night, you can actually see through the windows, you can actually see some students dancing through the window. And I think that automatically says, okay, this is a performing arts conservatory. This is music, this is dance, this is theater, this is all of those things in one, and gives us that message that we need so that the community knows that we're out there.
Exactly, and part of your messaging too is also to kind of open the doors and let people know that this is an opportunity for students.
Absolutely. I mean, we want students to know about us, what kind of unique training we have. It's very much about cross-departmental training so that dancers get to work with instrumentalists, and we have the musical theater students get the dance training, and we have all of this cross-departmental training, which is unique to the school. And we're also about the community, and we have over 100 performances a year that go out into the community. So we're really, the ethos of the school is really about giving back.
Right, right. I know, we talked about that earlier. So you have over 150 shows a year?
Actually, we have about 600 performances we do a year, but it's the community programs that are well over 100 a year. Yes.
Really?
So there's a lot there's a lot going on and a lot to see. The community programs, I mean, those we go into the hospitals, we go into the senior centers,
Okay.
we work with low mobility seniors, we work with patients with Alzheimer's, we work in the autism community as well.
Okay.
We really
You are focused.
we're very focused in that way. Now the public performances, those are free and low-cost performances. So we really encourage people to come because the quality of what you're getting. I mean, these are the kids who go on to Broadway,
future.
go on to the Met. These are the stars of tomorrow, and they really are doing extraordinary things.
And you make up a good point, because sometimes you have families with children, and it's hard to take 4 or 6. You can't take a mother and father and 4 children to a Red Sox game. It's going to
Right.
cost you a lot of money. I mean, you can take them, but that's a lot of money.
We think about that a lot, and we have children's opera, we have children's theater, we have that as well, but we have musicals, we have orchestral concerts, we have chamber music recitals, we have dance recitals. I mean, there's really something for everybody.
Right. And a young kid with a passion for that and having access to the conservatory is
It's great. I take
excellent.
my own kids, and they love it.
They like
they
it?
love it. They love it.
yeah, and they're like
And
10
not
and
just
12.
because I'm their mother.
And you force them.
Right.
So let's talk about when we talked earlier about the partnerships. So that's a significant part of your role is fostering partnerships, getting support.
Absolutely. I mean, we're partnering with, so we have something called the Conservatory College that's starting next year. And one of the things we're doing is with the Walnut Hills School. So an aspiring dancer who's going to the Walnut Hills School, they go there for 4 years, and the 4th year of the program, they get credit as a freshman at the Boston Conservatory. So in 7 years, instead of 8 years, they get their high school diploma and their bachelor degree. Which is really something we're really very excited about. And that's really the tip of the iceberg. We're really doing a lot of collaboration.
That's smart. That's very smart. So what's the enrollment with that? I mean, how does that work?
It's starting now, actually. We're starting to get applications now, and it's really looking like we're going to get some
Is it
very strong-
competitive?
It is competitive, but I think there's a real need for that. And quite honestly, I mean, the whole world of the performing arts education is shifting in many ways. So for a parent to save a year's tuition, that's a pretty appealing thing. So 7 years instead of 8 years. And we have a wonderful relationship with the Walnut Hills School. We're really very excited about that. We also have a new stage management degree program that we're starting. Stage management, also contemporary theater. So those are the 3 programs where we're starting to see the applications coming in because it's launching next fall.
Wow. No, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
exciting. Now, the preview of the 150th anniversary, now that's coming up in 2015 or 17?
2017,
17.
but as you
You
can
really start
imagine,
early.
we start planning now. we have our logo, and we've been having lots of meetings and lots of discussions.
Really?
It takes a lot of planning because it's really not just about us. It's about area institutions collaborating, making sure that people are engaged who need to be engaged, and that we're honoring our history, and we have a lot of archival information and a lot of work that has to be done in
So this
preparation.
is going to be huge. Are you going to have like galas?
We're
and
going to have a lot. We're going to,
really
yes, we're going to,
different parties and different town locations and
yeah, we're
events.
We want to involve as much of the community as possible, and we really want people to know that we have something to celebrate. It's really a big deal. It's 150. When you think about it, it's really it's quite a history, and the school's still standing and doing some magnificent things, and it's another opportunity for visibility for the school.
Right. And then thinking about that, all the investment into the 150th anniversary and all the planning, obviously you need the partnerships and support.
We do. We
from-
need our neighbors. We work
Right.
closely with our neighbors. We're part of the Pro Arts Consortium, the Fenway Alliance. We have a lot of colleagues and neighbors who we have very good relationships with. Our president, Richard Ortner, is really very much out and about in the community and has a strong background in the Boston community and with the Tanglewood Music Festival, which he was the artistic administrator of for many years. So I think he's really doing a lot to forge those partnerships.
Right, right. It's interesting to understand. So students, I mean, then they're exposed to Tanglewood, and they're exposed to things that are going on in other cities, and
They are. I mean, we really want to prepare them for the world of the performing artist. And how you do that is you give them a huge toolbox of as much information as possible. They need, of course, they need the performing arts training. They need that. And we have very, very talented division directors who are doing a terrific job with that. But we need to give them the business training. They really need to be entrepreneurs now. They need to create their own way in the
and
world.
market
in a sense.
themselves too.
They do.
I guess
They do. They have to do
sell
all
yourself
of it.
and do your own PR.
They do.
Sell yourself.
It's complicated. I mean, when I was an aspiring musician, everybody looked to get an agent, and then your agent was going to get you the work. It's not like that anymore.
Now, what did you play?
I sang opera.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You sang opera. Yeah, that's great. No, but you're right. So the students have to be prepared like that. Now, the curriculum, I was just curious. Okay, students go there. What do they study to be?
Well, they study
opera?
there so they can get a degree in music. So we have the music theater division, so they can go, they can study that as a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. Then we have a music program. So there is the instrumental composition. Opera, and then there's the dance program, which has a wonderful contemporary focus, and then we have the music education program, and now actually that has a new addition to it in that now one can get a degree in music education with a focus with an autism specialty, because we work with that community extensively. So that's a really exciting addition as well for next year.
You're a good example for like viewers and maybe juniors or seniors in high school that are figuring out what they want to do, and maybe they want to. You came back and look at the job that you have. I mean, you're still part of your passion that you had 20 years ago, and just in another capacity.
It's true. I mean, I don't know that I knew that this was what was going to happen, but when I thought about what I was going to do next, I thought, well, I still need to sing and I still need to train, and I'm never going to not do that.
Right.
But I thought I really want to do something else, and I really wanted to give back in some way. The one thing I did know is that if I was going to move into arts administration, it was going to have to be for a performing arts institution, because that's where my passion is. And I thought if I'm going to do fundraising or marketing or any of that, I need to be believable, and I need to really believe in it. And so it was really an easy decision in that way. And then it just sort of started to build from there. So I hope that it's encouraging to others who might want to do other things or do both things, because that's the other thing, as we were talking about. You know, the young artist, they're juggling a number of different things. They're creating their own companies and performing in them. And they have to raise money, and they have to know how to fundraise. And in fact, our student government, we were meeting recently, and I said, look, I'll help you to train to learn how to fundraise, because they need to be able to do it. And they need to know how to speak and articulate themselves to build their audiences and get ticket buyers or people who are going to support them, or somebody to look at their business plan for something they're trying to do that's new and different. So I think you can do both.
I think so. It's a well-rounded curriculum.
It is. It's a very well, and they have all of the. I mean, it's a degree program, so they have to take all of the courses that everybody else has to take to get a degree.
Right, and I think like if parents were like, "Oh, beware, we don't think that's a right field for you, because what will you do with that degree?" But I believe there's a lot you can do.
There's a lot you can do, and you'd be surprised when you hear about what some of our alums do, because we're very much obviously in touch with our alums. We want to know what they're doing. There are ambassadors out there, and a lot of them are doing some very big things, performing. They're on Broadway, as I said. Some of them singing at the Met. I mean, we had 2 American Idol finalists who were on there.
Oh, I didn't know
Catherine
that.
McPhee, Constantine Maroulis were actually alums of the Conservatory. So we have people who are out there in many of the big dance companies. They're out there performing, but we have people who are administrators, who are attorneys, who have told us the reason that I can get up in front of people and make a case and be compelling in what I'm doing, and I can stand up and feel comfortable, is because I know how to stand up in front of an audience when I was performing. So there's a lot of transferable skills if you don't remain in the field. And I think for parents, and as a parent myself, it is comforting to know that. I mean, of course, you're supporting their passion to perform, and that's the primary reason these students come into the school. But I think that they should know that.
Right, but
there
I think
really
as a
are
parent, you still have concerns, because you worry, your child's going to grow up and the livelihood and how they're going to live and pay their bills. You want them to be successful, and
Right, so that's our job, and the faculty, they take that very seriously, that they really need to train them to be able to do all kinds of things. And we're seeing some very interesting things that the students are doing, and our alums in particular.
So you just mentioned, you have alums that have just become lawyers, and they had went there for 4 or 5 years and just moved on to another career.
And moved on, and it's another way of performance. That's how they look at it. And I think those are skills that are transferable. But most of them will tell you that they're still either, they're watching, they've still, once you have the bug, you have the bug. It's sort of.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It doesn't leave you.
It's definitely, and I keep on bringing it up, but I think sometimes young people don't understand that's an option too, or no, they don't know that to say the conservatory could be an option, that they have a passion for that, but they may not want to mention it, or they may want to just take on another field because that's what maybe most of their peers are doing, And it's good to have access and know that the Boston Conservatory is there. I'm sure you have a department that speaks to students about enrollment and encouragement.
Absolutely. We have a very supportive staff, student affairs staff that deals with that. We have a liberal arts program too, and that staff and faculty, they also support the kids in all of these, the preparatory kinds of things to get them ready for what they're going to encounter when they get out. And many of them get work while they are students. They are performing in the summer, during the year, and some of them will take some time off to go and perform and come back. And so we see all kinds of things, because I think for dance and for musical theater, for some of these areas, your career kicks off a little bit when you're a little bit younger. It's just the nature of it.
Yeah.
So that some of them start earlier, and some of them, for voice, for example, the voice in some cases doesn't develop until you're in your late 20s or your 30s, especially for the heavier voices. And so, what do you do in the meantime? You're training, you're working, you're maybe doing some smaller things until you're ready, until you develop and are ready for that repertoire. And so that takes time, and so you need to work, and you need to make a living, and you need to eat, and you need to do all those other things. So again, we really take very seriously that we need to prepare them so that they know what to do when they're not performing.
So what's enrollment like? Do you turn away students?
We do. We have 730 students this year. It's very competitive.
It has to be very competitive.
It is. It's I guess what do they say? It's a good problem to have, but we're always, but no one can sit back and say, oh, this is fine. Everybody's, always looking ahead of me. This is, we all the conservatories, all the universities, we all think about it. We always want to grow enrollment and make sure that we're reaching people in the right way, because of course that's changed dramatically and will continue to change every minute of every day, because technology is changing so quickly. So how are we reaching people through social media to get them back to our website where the information is? There's all that sort of that inbound marketing piece of it that we take very seriously as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I think just having you here today helps, and then also too what the Boston Business Journal did, and when they profiled you.
Yeah,
I thought it was really a sharp, tight profile, and promotes the conservatory for our youth and for the community.
I'm grateful for that, because I do think it's a special place, and I do, we at the performances, people walk in the door, they watch one of our performances, and they say, how come I didn't know about this? This is really, really incredible. And again, I said, it's not expensive. It really, and some of it's free and it's low cost, and it's really, the quality is really extraordinary. So we would love it if you would come.
Right, no,
Please
I will.
come.
And when you talked about social media earlier, it's like go to the website and you can see what's coming for the next month, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page, we have a website. We hope people will come and see what's happening. There is a lot happening. This is busy season for us, so it's a great time, and come and see. It's a real menu of things.
That's
I really do
great.
think there's something for everybody.
Oh, I believe it. When you told me that you just see so many different groups of people and families and students, and it is a way to get out of the house and do something that's, again, cultural and different from what you normally do on a weekend.
Absolutely.
People are always looking for something to do, and in the winter, whether you're going to hide inside, you can go to the conservatory.
Come see us. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I am curious about the 2017 anniversary. Can you share something that's going on? What's going to happen?
Well, we just, as I said, we're having preliminary meetings right now, but there will be something very celebratory. It will, obviously, we have the programmatic piece will be very complicated and will take a while because we need to highlight all the different parts of the institution. So there will be something that will be orchestral, there will be something operatic.
Will this be a month-long celebration or a week? It'll be like days of
There will be some things leading up to it, there will be some things after it. We have some other institutions that we have a history of collaborating with, and we want to honor that as well.
You want to highlight that?
That's really important.
What month was the anniversary?
It was February. The actual date, February 11th, 1867, I believe is the date, if I got that right.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think what we're thinking is the actual date of the anniversary, we'll probably do something for the students. And then we'll have a celebration around that for the community. And then we'll do some partnering kinds of things with the other institutions, as I mentioned, that we have a history with. Right. So it's an important milestone for us. We want to really bring back our alums. We have alums all over the country and internationally as well. And we want to find a really exciting way to bring them back together. Maybe they perform together, all kinds of ways to honor them and thank them for being our ambassadors.
So I can understand the 2-year prep, because time flies. And all of a sudden it's 12 months left and
It's just about enough time, so it's really
right. Considering what you want to do and bring alum back and have them maybe even perform,
which will be great. And we have a wonderful board of trustees. David Scott Sloan, who's our new chairman, is a terrific guy, and he's really leading the charge on that and really engaging our volunteers who are there. Look, they don't have a personal history with the school, and they give of their time to the school, and they're going to be a very, very key part of this.
Well, we're ready to wrap up, but
okay.
Leslie, listen, thank you so much for coming. And
Thank
really,
you for
you're an
having
inspiration.
me.
You really are.
Thank
and I'm so
you.
happy what you do, and I think it's so important.
Well,
I think it's great, and I wish you the best. I know you moved your family back, and they're happy and settled in Wayland.
They're happy. They're settled.
Right, and I think you have a great job.
Thank you.
Be excited.
I'm very grateful. I love my job. It's great. We're really settling in here. The community has been wonderful to us.
Excellent. I'd love to have you back possibly 3 months before the event, or even 6 months. It'll be
perfect.
Have you back on the show, and we can talk about how that's transpiring and moving forward with the anniversary celebration.
Great.
All right. Okay, thank you, viewers, for watching this month's show. Again, we had Leslie Kaye from the Boston Conservatory. Please join us next month for more news about Boston and beyond and what's going on in your city. Thank you.